Mike Tyson, one of the most legendary boxers of all time, is known not only for his brutal knockouts inside the ring, but also for his extravagant lifestyle outside of it. The former undisputed heavyweight champion has earned hundreds of millions of dollars throughout his career and spent it on some of the most outrageously expensive things imaginable. From luxurious mansions and exotic supercars to private jets and pet tigers, Tyson's spending habits have been as wild as his fights in the ring. Let's take an in-depth look at some of the most ridiculously expensive items Mike Tyson has owned. At the peak of his career, Tyson didn't just own a house, he owned palatial estates that were fit for royalty. One of his most famous homes was a 52-room mansion in Ohio, complete with a massive indoor pool, a gold-plated fireplace, and crystal chandeliers. The mansion even had its own nightclub, basketball court, and a luxurious master bedroom with a marble jacuzzi. It was a true symbol of excess, with an enormous driveway lined with exotic cars and an opulent entrance that screamed wealth. But that wasn't his only extravagant home. Tyson also owned a sprawling mansion in Las Vegas, featuring 7 bedrooms, a movie theater, a game room, and an enormous outdoor pool surrounded by lush gardens. The Vegas home was designed to impress, with a private casino-style poker room where he would entertain his celebrity friends and fellow athletes. At one point, he even had a tiger enclosure in his backyard. Then there was his infamous Connecticut mansion, once owned by rapper 50 Cent. This 50,000 square foot property had 21 bedrooms, a full nightclub, a recording studio, and multiple indoor swimming pools. The estate even had a giant walk-in closet just for Tyson's extensive wardrobe, which included custom-made suits and designer sneakers worth thousands of dollars. Tyson's love for fast and exotic cars is legendary. Over the years, he has owned some of the most expensive and rare vehicles in the world. One of his most prized possessions was his fleet of Rolls-Royces, including the Rolls-Royce Silver Spur and the Rolls-Royce Corniche, both of which cost over $200,000 each. These luxury cars were often custom-made with his initials engraved into the leather seats, gold-plated accents, and state-of-the-art sound systems. But Tyson didn't stop at Rolls-Royces. He also owned several Ferraris, including the Ferrari F50, one of the most expensive and rare Ferraris ever made, valued at over $1 million. His garage also featured a Lamborghini Diablo, one of the fastest supercars of its time, and a Bentley Continental SC, a luxury coupe worth over $300,000. One of his most extravagant purchases was a Jaguar XJ220, a hypercar that was one of the fastest production cars in the world at the time. Only 275 of these cars were ever made, and Tyson made sure he had one in his collection. With a top speed of 213 miles per hour, this car was as wild as Tyson's persona. He also loved classic American muscle cars. His collection included a custom-made Cadillac Escalade with gold rims, a Chevrolet Corvette convertible, and a fully restored 1965 Ford Mustang. Each car was fitted with the latest technology, custom interiors, and high-performance upgrades, making them worth far more than their original price tags. When you're a boxing champion making millions of dollars per fight, flying commercial is simply out of the question. Tyson invested in multiple private jets over the years, including a Gulfstream G4, a luxury jet valued at over $40 million. This private aircraft was decked out with high-end leather seating, gold-plated details, and an entertainment system that rivaled the best hotels in the world. It allowed Tyson to travel in style, whether he was flying to fight destinations or simply heading to exotic locations for vacations. He was also known for chartering the most luxurious private planes when he didn't own one himself. His travels included trips to Monte Carlo, Dubai, and the Caribbean, where he would stay in lavish 5-star resorts, often booking entire floors for himself and his entourage. His vacations were filled with extravagant parties, yacht rentals, and 5-star dining experiences, where he would often leave thousands of dollars in tips. Perhaps one of the most famous and ridiculous purchases Tyson ever made was his pet Bengal tigers. He reportedly spent $70,000 per tiger and housed them in a custom-built enclosure in his mansion. These enormous cats were not only rare but incredibly expensive to maintain, requiring thousands of dollars in food and professional trainers to care for them. Tyson even had a custom-built SUV designed to transport the tigers in luxury. Owning exotic pets became one of his most well-known quirks, and he was often photographed walking his tigers around his mansion grounds. Tyson's taste in jewelry was just as extravagant as his taste in cars and homes. He owned multiple diamond-encrusted Rolex watches, including the famous Rolex Day-Date President, which is valued at over $50,000. He also had several custom-made chains, including a massive diamond chain with his own face encrusted in jewels. One of his most expensive purchases was a custom-made gold and diamond championship belt, symbolizing his reign as the heavyweight champion. He often wore multiple gold rings, bracelets, and necklaces, sometimes layering them all at once, making his presence even more intimidating. His jewelry collection was worth millions, and he was known to give away pieces to friends and fans in moments of generosity. Tyson had an immense wardrobe filled with custom-made designer suits from brands like Versace, Gucci, and Armani. His suits were tailored to perfection, often made from the finest materials like silk and cashmere. He also had an extensive collection of designer sneakers, many of which were custom-made and one-of-a-kind. His love for luxury extended even to his casual wear, where he would often be seen in mink coats and diamond-studded sunglasses. Mike Tyson's wild spending habits extended far beyond material possessions. His extravagant parties and nightlife escapades were the stuff of legend. He was notorious for throwing million-dollar parties at his sprawling mansions, high-end penthouses, and luxurious five-star hotels across the world, ensuring that no expense was spared in delivering the most opulent and over-the-top experiences. These exclusive events weren't just ordinary gatherings, they were grand spectacles featuring live performances from world-famous musicians, top DJs spinning music all night, and entire gourmet catering teams serving the most exquisite food and drinks money could buy. Champagne flowed endlessly, with Tyson often ordering entire cases of the rarest and most expensive bottles, sometimes spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single night. His guest lists were just as extravagant, filled with A-list celebrities, elite athletes, supermodels, and high-profile business moguls, making his parties the ultimate playground for the rich and famous. Tyson was also known for his unmatched generosity. He never hesitated to foot the bill for his entire entourage, covering lavish dinners, luxury hotel stays, private jets, and more, ensuring that everyone around him lived as lavishly as he did. His impulsive spending habits saw him routinely buying out entire nightclubs for private parties, shutting down venues just for himself and his guests, and personally ensuring that everyone was having the time of their lives. His presence alone turned any party into an unforgettable event, and his reputation for extravagant tipping made him a favorite among service staff. He would often hand out thousands of dollars in tips to waiters, bartenders, and club staff, sometimes on a whim, simply to spread his wealth and generosity. His nightlife wasn't just about partying, it was a statement, a demonstration of his larger-than-life persona, and a testament to his philosophy of living in the moment with no financial limits. Tyson's legendary parties became iconic in celebrity circles, cementing his status as one of the most excessive, free-spirited, and lavish spenders in sports history. Mike Tyson's life of luxury was a roller coaster ride of extreme wealth and extravagant spending. From owning private jets and tigers to filling his garage with multi-million-dollar cars, Tyson lived like a king, while his spending habits eventually led to financial struggles. His legacy as one of the most flamboyant and fearless athletes of all time remains unmatched. Whether it was his diamond-covered watches, his fleet of Rolls-Royces, or his over-the-top parties, Mike Tyson proved that when it comes to living large, few could match his level of extravagance.